comes back and pleads, I said, look, forgive me. I've made a mistake. I want us to move forward. You are human. You are human. But in sincerity.
When I said that I had a reason for being patient, it is because I know that we are all from one family. And if we have a disagreement, no matter how bad it is, it should be resolved. It has become very clear that this disagreement, there is no headway to it. And for a lot of reasons, there are very, very visible evidence that there is sabotage, deliberate attempt to sabotage this administration. For that reason, we have to move forward.
Problem between Wike and Fubara is boy and oga. Our president is one person who has been protecting democracy. So there is no way he will truncate it. We are doing everything, including Mr. President and Wike. Fubara is coming back as the duly elected governor of Rivers State.
He didn't go alone to see the president, and he didn't also go alone to meet with Wike.
Okay,
he went with the governor of Ebonyi State was there. The governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun was there. And then the former governor of Ogun State, Olusegun Osoba, was there. They took him to Wike's house. And when he got in there, he walked straight to Wike's living room, because that's a house that he's used to, he's familiar with. It's a familiar terrain. So that's the truth of the matter. So those who ought to have known, some even doubted, the very close persons were saying it didn't happen because he didn't even carry them along. I mean, there are times when you are, in crisis, you just tell yourself, look, I need to do this. So now, but the funny thing is that the people that took him for that meeting are all APC people. There's no PDP there.
As Nigeria approaches another decisive general election in 2027, one state stands out, not for its unity, but for its unrest. Rivers State, a political heavyweight in the South-South, is grappling with a power struggle that could reshape not only its own future, but the entire region's role in national politics. A suspended governor, a returning Godfather, and a public that refuses to stay silent. This is the untold story of political survival, betrayal, and a dangerous peace in the making. Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his former mentor turned political rival, Nyesom Wike, have reportedly begun peace talks in Abuja after meeting initially in London. What was once a full-blown political war, marked by court battles, legislative chaos, public protests, and accusations of sabotage, may now be shifting into a casual ceasefire. The meeting, facilitated by former Ogun State Governor Olusegun Obasanjo and current Governor Dapo Abiodun, took place at Wike's residence, not in Government House Port Harcourt, not on neutral ground, but under the roof of the man who still pulls the strings within the state's power structure. Fubara, whose tenure has been marred by continuous resistance from pro-Wike lawmakers and federal political pressure, appears to have chosen peace over prolonged confrontation. But the question is, at what cost? Observers already asking, did Fubara go to Abuja to negotiate or to surrender? For months, the two camps have battled for control over the legislature, the judiciary, and even civil appointments. The tipping point came when Wike-aligned lawmakers defected en masse.
Some days ago, we defected inside the Hallowed Chamber of the Rivers State House of Assembly in line with Section 109 of the 1999 Constitution as altered. We made sure that we followed due process. We made sure that we did not do anything outside the provisions of the 1999 Constitution. The Constitution has given room for people to defect. That is why in Section 109, subsection 1G, it allows serving legislators who want to defect to do so with a proviso that there is a division in the party upon which they rode to the House of Assembly. There is clearly a division in the PDP.
And the Rivers State Assembly complex was set ablaze in what many saw as a metaphor for the entire conflict. The peace deal, if it holds, may cool the surface, but underneath we are sure that the tension is still boiling. While reconciliation may sound like the mature path forward, in Rivers State, it raises serious alarms. Because this is not just a personal crisis, it is a structural fight for autonomy, legitimacy, and leadership style. Wike, a two-time governor and now the FCT minister, has long been accused of attempting to govern Rivers by proxy. His loyalists were embedded across the state's political and institutional machinery. Even after he left office, Fubara's rise was initially seen as a continuation of Wike's legacy until Fubara started asserting his independence, and that's when things fell apart.
It has become very clear that this disagreement, there is no headway to it, and for a lot of reasons, there are very, very visible evidence that there is sabotage, deliberate attempt to sabotage this administration. For that reason, we have to move forward. In the local parliament, they said the jungle has matured. We will be setting a panel of inquiry to investigate the affair of governance. Even if it's a mistake, by the special grace of God, I'm here today.
Yes,
God doesn't make mistakes.
At all. Not a mistake.
And let me also appeal to them. Let them continue to make mistakes.
Wike's camp pushed back. With everything they had, the assembly threatened impeachment, the budget was blocked, and Wike himself accused Fubara of incompetence. Fubara, for his part, resisted. He secured presidential backing briefly and held on. He gained popular sympathy from those tired of Godfather politics, civil society groups, women's coalition, youth leaders, all rallied behind him, calling for the end of Wike's remote control. But now, with this reconciliation, many of those supporters feel betrayed. To them, this is not peace, it is capitulation, and the signs are everywhere. During the recent Renewed Hope Initiative Empowerment Program, an event linked to First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, chaos erupted when Teresa Ibas, wife of the state's controversial sole administrator, Ibok Ete Ibas, was asked to speak on behalf of the First Lady. Hundreds of women walked out in protest. Their chant was clear.
Promoted, but ever since King came, promoted. They've been playing people, so we want him. We want someone that will give us peace.
They saw the Ibas camp as a continuation of Wike's influence. They wanted a First Lady who represents the country, elected governor, not one installed by political fiat. This protest didn't just reflect anger, it reflected a public refusing to accept a recycled power structure. Aside this, many other forms of protests have taken place in Rivers State, with many in support of the government of the sole administrator and the declaration of a state of emergency, and others completely against the emergence of Ibok Ete Ibas as the sole administrator of the state. Governor Fubara is now walking the tightest political rope in Nigeria. On one hand, reconciliation with Wike might stabilize the state's institution, reduce legislative sabotage, and allow him to finish his term without constant disruption. But on the other hand, that same peace could strip him of credibility, authority, and critically independence. The people who once hailed him as a bold reformer now question whether he has the strength to govern on his own terms. By reaching out to Wike, Fubara risks reinforcing the narrative that in Nigerian politics, no one rises without a godfather, and no one survives by defying one. His camp has hinted that the reconciliation does not mean surrender, but the optics are already damaging. Wike, still influential at the federal level, may now reassert his influence in the states, leaving Fubara in a position of compromise. To make matters worse, the national political climate is shifting rapidly, with the APC preparing its 2027 re-election machinery and PDP governors being courted across the south.
Delta, don't go. Akwa Ibom, don't go. Cross River, they with Tinubu. River State, they beg for life. Edo, they with Tinubu. Bayelsa, will not know where they go. Not be failure of leadership.
Fubara's next political move could define his political career. Will he become a southern pillar for the Tinubu administration, or will he realign with other aggrieved PDP forces seeking to challenge the status quo? For now, Fubara is caught in the middle, and time indeed is running out for him. No matter what deals are made in Abuja or Port Harcourt, or even in London, one truth remains: the people are watching. Rivers have always been a political active state. Its citizens are outspoken, organized, and deeply engaged with local governance. In recent months, we have seen protests against the defection of lawmakers loyal to Wike, youth-led marches demanding the removal of the sole administrator, women's group working out of high-level federal programs, civil society petitions against the suppression of Fubara's authority.
We are here principally to demonstrate our support for Mr. President's action declaring a state of emergency in Rivers State. Our reason is very simple. We believe that the President's action is constitutional, unavoidable, and was designed, or rather is designed, to avoid breakdown of law and order in Rivers State.
We are here to speak against the unconstitutional removal of our elected governor and the Rivers State House of Assembly. We are here to demand a government for the people of Rivers State, because as it stands now, we are without government. This government in Rivers State is alien to our people. It's unconstitutional. And so we are here to demand that our governor comes back to office and lead us appropriately.
It is important for Rivers people to understand, and Nigerians, that what is happening today in Nigeria is actually a rape on democracy, because there is no reason whatsoever why an elected government will be suspended for no just cause. We are in a democracy, not in a dictatorship. And Rivers people must come out this morning, because it is important for them to know that even freedom is not free.
These are not just flash protests, they are signs of a rising political consciousness. Any reconciliation that ignores these sentiments risks backfiring, because in the minds of many, Wike's influence is no longer welcomed, and Fubara's legitimacy hinges on standing firm against it. If the governor sacrifices that for political calm, he may win a few quiet weeks but loses the next election cycle. And make no mistake, every political party is watching Rivers State closely. The APC wants to flip it. The PDP wants to keep holding it at all costs. And new third forces are quietly building, capitalizing on voters' fatigue with both camps. The reconciliation between Fubara and Wike may bring a moment of calm, but the real question is not whether they shook hands. It is whether Rivers State would accept the terms of that handshake. If the reconciliation leads to real power sharing, institutional reform, and the end of political hostage-taking, then perhaps history would judge it as a necessary compromise. But if it leads to the return of one-man dominance, backdoor appointments, and further erosion of public trust, then this deal will go down as a tragic surrender. Governor Fubara has a choice to make. He can be remembered as the man who bent to pressure, or the leader who stood up even when the cost was high. And for the people of Rivers State, 2027 will be their moment to speak loud and clear at the ballot box. So we ask you once again, do you think that a reconciliation is genuine or just another political trap? Has Fubara protected the peace or given up too much power? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because what happens in Rivers may decide what happens in the whole of Nigeria. You have been watching The Untold Story, where the real stories are never black and white. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into Nigerians' political undercurrents.